Hey, everybody, Jim Cummings here. And if Tigger were here, he'd say, thanks, everybody, for bouncing on in here and enjoying the show. But before we go, I want you to do me a small favor. Hit like, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying the show. Now, speaking of enjoying the show, enjoy the show.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Toon'd In with Jim Cummings. I'm producer Chris, joined as always by the legend himself, Mr. Jim Cummings. How are you doing today, sir?
It's another day in paradise.
Absolutely, it sure is. And we have another special guest for you guys today, none other than Jay Mandyam. How are you doing today, sir? Thank you for being here.
What's going on?
Yes.
Tuned In audience, Jim Cummings, Chris Judge.
So glad you're here. Thank you.
I'm happy to be here. It's an honor and a pleasure to see the face of the voice of my childhood.
Ah, yes. Well, that's what you get for being so young. The way I'm not.
So, Jim.
Well, thank you. Glad to have you, man.
Is it time to get the podcast started? Should I say, let's get dangerous?
Let's get dangerous. That's how it's said. All right. Don't try that at home, especially if you're better than me. But yeah, yes, indeed. That's one of my, do you have a catchphrase? We have to get you a catchphrase.
I don't have a catchphrase as much as a motto, so to speak. When I was when I was in college, there was a period of my life where I was just having like terrible luck, and there was a girl I was really into, and every day I would just kind of like tell her about my day, and I would like vent to her, and it was sort of like every day was God hates Jay day, and so my motto at the time was like my friends would be like, oh, it's another God hates Jay story, but like I would tell this girl who I was into like what was going on my day, and my friends would be like, you sound like Eeyore to this girl. Like I would show up and they would all make fun of me. They'd be like, hey, Pooh.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God. And then you said, thanks for noticing me.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Wow. Well, I get Pooh and Tigger a lot, but not so much Eeyore.
Yeah, no Eeyore. No Eeyore fans. I guess I'm a real life Eeyore.
Wow, that's not bad. You got something to fall back on or forward on. Jesus.
Well, I do have big ears, big floppy ears.
That's true. Well, I'm sure. That's Dumbo.
Yeah, that was my nickname as a kid. Dumbo was my nickname as a
Really?
kid.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Jesus. I'm scoring left and right over here.
Kids can be so mean. I swear kids can be meaner than adults. They just have no filter.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's what builds character. Like, I think when they were on the anti-bullying campaign, I was like, well, yeah, I hate the bullies, but if it wasn't for all the people who made me feel like crap when I was in high school, I wouldn't be motivated to be a good comedian now to like show them up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, boy, ain't that the truth. See, I'm that way too, and I don't know if that's good or bad, but I've always been motivated by negative stuff. You're never gonna. No, you're not gonna. No. You're gonna work in a steel mill from Youngstown, Ohio, and I did work in a steel mill, but thank God it was a long time ago. But it was always like, no, you're gonna do what? What are you gonna do? No, you're not. No. Just go learn a trade, be a carpenter. How about that? It was good enough for Jesus' dad. You should be fine. But so are you enforced by negative criticism?
I think spite is a great motivator.
Spite, yeah.
Spite. Yeah. People tell you. I think I did this thing called the Landmark Forum once, and it's like a 3-day seminar, and they kind of like try to encourage you to get over your trauma and
Were you allowed to go to the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because that was in another movie. I think you had to sit through 3 days. Can't go to the bathroom.
No, they allowed you to do that. It's like all about trying to get over your trauma and stuff. Yeah. And I remember I'm sitting there being like, like I was trying to use spite as my motivator. Like, no, that's the opposite of what we're trying to do. We don't want you to use that to motivate you to do better in life. And
whatever works.
Yeah.
I think it takes like a thick skin and a certain type of personality, though. It's not everybody who can use that to power their fuel, so to speak. I think that's we're speaking for. I'm speaking for the unsung heroes right now. Don't give up.
That's right. Yeah. We'll tell you when to give up.
Yeah, let your spite drive you.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, but I was always motivated by the negativity of people saying, "No, you'll never do this. You'll never do that." You know, because it's more fun.
Yeah, and a lot of what this industry is, I've realized, is turning one person's no into somebody else's yes.
Oh, that's good. That sounds like that's a damn fine bumper sticker.
Cool. Let's merch that. Let's trademark that.
Yeah.
Go to the Toon'd In store.
That's right. That's right. Did you always know
that I wanted to be a comedian? I think subconsciously, yes. So when I was young, like my favorite movie of all time is Back to the Future, and when I was I can remember as early as like 3 or 4 years old saying I want to be a movie star like Michael J. Fox, and there was a period when my mom was like, when I was like in the 3rd or 4th grade, my mom was taking me to like auditions and stuff, and I like auditioned for Wishbone on PBS and like some other stuff, and I think I did an episode of Wishbone and I hated it. I just hated the experience of like multiple takes and constantly resetting and I think I'm glad I did it because it made me realize I didn't like that.
Yeah.
But I grew up watching sitcoms with my dad. And my dad would always try to predict the next joke in the show.
Oh, yeah.
And usually he would get it right. And then he would be like, I should have been a script writer. And so
was he? Did he?
No, my dad was an electrical engineering professor, you know?
Oh, that's pretty funny.
I mean, my dad had a great wit. He had he loved kind of playing practical jokes on people and messing with my cousins and stuff. But I think like just that experience of watching the sitcoms with my dad did some kind of imprint on me of like, well, maybe I don't want to be an actor, but maybe doing something where I can be in control and making people laugh is the thing I want to do. And when I was growing up, all the sitcoms were like Seinfeld, Mad About You, Home Improvement, Ellen. So I thought you had to be a stand-up comedian to have your own sitcom. So when I was in the 8th grade, I said, okay, I'm going to become a stand-up comedian. I'm going to get my own sitcom and I'm going to, make my dad laugh on TV. Like that seemed to be something that was important to me.
Yeah. That's important to a lot of people, making your dad laugh.
Yeah. And the kind of cool thing about the sitcom compared to like when I was doing Wishbone is most of these sitcoms are done in front of a live studio audience and they don't do more than like 3 takes per scene. So like there was that appealing thing to me of like, I don't have to do 6 takes. There's not, okay, we did 4 takes at this setup. Now we're going to do it again, another 8 takes in this other setup. And there was something about that sort of like kind of liveness about it.
Yeah, I agree. Were you in like, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be in plays and everything. It was a great way to meet girls, And,
I was in my, I was the lead in my 4th grade play, and it was like the music teacher / theater teacher or whatever. She went up to my mom and she said, Jay's always such a quiet kid, but when he's on stage, I see him come alive. And that's what led my mom to like start taking me out on auditions when I was younger, is because she thought that, if that's what's unlocking him, maybe this might be interesting for him. But,
yeah. Wow, that was good. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. So you can blame my mom.
Yeah, that's right.
Blame my mom, blame my dad.
I want to ask your opinion on sitcoms because you seem passionate about them.
I love sitcoms.
What do you think happened to sitcoms? I swear, like they kind of just like vanished from our cultural zeitgeist.
I blame... this is me personally. I blame Regis Philbin and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I think Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, when that came on in 98 or 99, I think that killed the sitcom. I think that killed primetime television as we know it, because that started that whole trend.
Wait, can you expand? Why?
Well, Regis Philbin, he's a well-known assassin.
Because that goes way farther back than I would have expected the answer to be.
Yeah, well, there was, so when Who Wants to Be a Millionaire came on, I think it was like summer of 98 or summer of 99. It was like a phenomenon for a week. And then
for a week, a whole week, that long?
It was like, because it was a limited thing. It wasn't supposed to be a whole trendsetter, and then it just became this huge thing. People were tuning in. I don't think anybody had won the $1 million yet, so people were like, "What?" It was almost like the '50s all over again, where people were watching primetime game shows like that. And so then that created this kind of rush of like, oh, we're gonna do more of this game show type of content. So like Fox started doing. They had the Chuck Woolery show, Greed, and then
Survivor,
and then Survivor eventually came about.
American
but like there
Idol.
was a point where ABC gutted their schedule to make room for more episodes of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. There was like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was on like 4 times a week at one point. So they just canceled like all these sitcoms and stuff. And then and then Survivor took over, and then that became a huge thing. And then it was just this. Then it transformed from like game shows to like reality shows, and now we got Big Brother and all these other things. And I think that's kind of I'd say Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was the first domino.
To counter your point, though, then also there was kind of like a resurgence, which I know you were a part of. Modern Family, there was the Modern Family, Big Bang Theory.
After that era of the game shows kind of taking over primetime television, I think like around 05-ish, the single camera comedy started to take over in terms of primetime television. And then also there was like a period where a lot of these single camera comedies on network TV were like improvised, kind of like, because Curb was such a phenomenon. So like everyone was trying to capitalize on Curb, but you could kind of, there were shows that played with the single camera format before The Office, but I think The Office was the sort of like groundbreaker in terms of single cameras.
That's for sure.
I see. So you're making that distinction between sitcoms that are single camera and live audience, multicam. Yeah. Yeah. And what was your experience like working on Modern Family? Modern
Family, it was, so I'd gone in for that. I'd gone into audition for that show a lot because the casting director liked me, and he was confident that and he would bring me in for everything, like huge guest star roles, like multiple recurring, and
nice.
Small co-stars. Like there was no part big or small he wouldn't bring me in for, and this one, it was a small thing, but it was 2 scenes, but they had they blacked out the second scene. But like when you prepare for an audition, you read all the pages they send you, just so you know.
Sure.
And I'm in the audition, and I do the one scene with my lines, and then the writer producer of the episode is in the room, and he says, "Can you do the second scene?" And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then the casting director's like, second scene? What second scene? And I'm like, you exit out. That's why you don't think there's a second scene. So but because I did the prep work, I knew what it was. And there were no lines, but the scene was, I try to jump out a window and somebody pulls me back in. And so I stood up on a chair and I really tried like I was in the moment to jump out the window, and I think that's what landed me the role, is because I did that. So the joke I make about that is like, I tried to jump out, I tried to commit suicide, no acting required.
Yeah, but you survived.
I did.
But you failed, actually, at committing suicide.
The most absurd thing about this, and I guess I can say this because it's been 8 years since I did that show. I was in my 30s and I'm playing a senior in college.
Okay. Well, good.
That's like a compliment, right?
The fact that you can get away with it.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That is, I look back at that, I was like, this is absurd. People believed I went to college with Ariel Winter in my 30s.
Wow. Sure. Why not? Wow. People believe that I, was a grandfather in college. You're doing fine. That's great. That's nothing wrong with that.
What's the most out of character that you've had to play, Jim?
Oh gosh, a tall guy. I played Goliath once.
Yeah,
I actually did. I was one of my very first jobs. I got stoned.
Was it the claymation one?
No, it was Kingdom Chums or something. I don't know, something with Kingdom. It was biblically based. No shit. But no, David and Goliath. No, really, yeah. But yeah, so I got my first job. One of my very first jobs, I got to die. So
I almost died, and you actually died.
I actually died. Yes. Yeah, it was hard. Have you ever died on camera?
No, but they say if in a horror film, if you die in a doorway, right?
Die in a doorway.
They say die in a doorway because that way they have to use you in the next scene.
That's funny. I've never heard that.
That's sage advice.
I've died like 5 times on camera. They love murdering me. If I've died to aliens,
well, that's true. I know.
Vampires, stabbings.
Yeah. I didn't
Did
die.
Billy Zane kill you?
Billy Zane. Oh, I actually don't know if we can talk about that.
What's your NDA?
Who? Billy who?
What are you in Back to the Future 4?
Yeah.
Are you Titanic 2?
Yeah, Titanic 2. Oh, God. Well, as long as we're not on the Titanic today. Well, so what's happening? What's going to be the next thing for you, man? Where are you off to?
I'm on the road as a comic.
Yeah.
There's a few comics I open for regularly, and then I did shoot my own sitcom pilot a few years ago, so I'm trying to peddle that. I did 4 cameras in front of a live studio audience.
Right on.
I always wanted to have my own sitcom. I never had the opportunity, so I said I'm going to go out there and make my own.
Did you do it here in LA?
Good for you.
I did. I shot it on a soundstage at USC. There was they had audience risers for about 60 people. I had 60 people in the audience.
That must have been a great feeling.
I loved it. It was just for a day I had my own sitcom.
Yeah, no kidding.
I called in every favor I had. My friend Roger, who's a professional audience warm-up guy, did 2 Broke Girls and Will and Grace. He came in and did the audience warm-up for me.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Is that a bucket lister?
I think doing my own series for like 9 years would be the bucket lister. But,
Okay, there you go.
But at some point you just kind of have to not be Eeyore and take the victory. Like for one day, I was a showrunner and lead on my own sitcom, so I can take that to the grave.
And isn't that energy, like, I've never done a sitcom, but I've like produced short films and music videos and stuff, and I love that creative energy when it's just like.
I tell you what, like there was a day during rehearsal when the first AD came up to me and he's like, this beat isn't working for me. And then all of us, like everybody jumped in to try and figure out what the fix was. Like that, it was the ADs, the PAs, the writers, the cast. And that to me was so much fun of everyone trying to figure out what the fix is. And then when we figured out what the beat was, that ended up being my favorite beat in the whole show. Cause and it was like, I think maybe I loved that beat so much is because we all came up with it together. It wasn't like, oh, I wrote this and it worked. That to me was the fun of it. And then also like during rehearsal, I got to see what the cast was capable of. And I would go and rewrite the script to like lean into their
tailor
strengths.
it to them.
Yeah. And there was one beat I remember I wrote for this guy, Josh Brenner, who played my best friend on the pilot. He was on Silicon Valley and a bunch of stuff. So Josh, you give that guy anything, he can land it. And there was this one gag I came up with. It was very wordy, but I knew if he landed it, he would get an applause break. And when I saw him do it in rehearsal, I was like, oh, he's going to get that applause break. And I told the other actor in the scene, I said, hold on your next line when he does this because he will get an applause break. And seeing him get the applause break with the audience was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Well, do you see a break coming up here? Are we landing yet? Say yes. We're doing fine. Okay, good. Wow. That's awesome.
Jim, you could speak to that collaborative effort, when like you talk about all the time how when you guys record voices ensemble, in the same room. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot better. I don't know how much you have done of that.
I was telling Chris before we started, I used to study with Gordon Hunt. And
wow.
And Gordon, at Hanna-Barbera, that was his thing, was doing those shows like they were a radio play. And
that's great.
That's like, I'm always fascinated with that era of animation when they were doing the radio play style.
What a great guy. Yeah, he was just a wonderful guy.
Did you work with him?
Tons of times. Yeah, many times, yeah. Good old Hanna-Barbera. Good old Hanna-Barbera.
What was it that he brought to that?
Well, he was a stage director. He was a director. He worked he directed at the Amundsen Theater, and that was his original. That was his first love, and he enjoyed. And I like this too. Do the whole cast together, And that way you're actually directing something. You're not just giving something, all right, do it better, faster, more talent, just flying solo. And I'm sure you're the same way. We're all the same way. We feed off each other's energy.
Yeah.
And it's better. It's just better. The audience knows it. Everybody feels it. And when we all went to, and I guess COVID didn't help, but when we all went to just flying solo, I didn't like it as much.
Yeah, I get that. I was talking with Larry Wilmore a few weeks ago, and he was saying when they were doing the PJs with Eddie Murphy, they would Larry would be on a T1 line while Eddie's in his trailer doing Dr. Dolittle, and he'd maybe get one take with Eddie for the PJs, and like he said he was hard. He would have to be sly about how he could direct him because he knew Eddie wouldn't give him more than one take. And it's like,
wow,
dang.
Oh, that's rough. Nope, I already did it. You're done. Ooh. Well, if you're Eddie Murphy, you can do that.
Yeah, but then also, I mean, I love the show and I think it's hilarious, but at the same time, like imagine how much more hilarious would it have been if they were all in the same room together.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and I think it just comes from being in plays too. I think you develop that. You play off each other. Acting is reacting, and yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Cool. Were there any comedians that you looked up to growing up, or was it more emphasis on the sitcoms?
I studied, like, once I made that decision of I'm going to be a comedian, get a sitcom, I studied comedy, just in general. There was no genre of comedy that was out of bounds for me.
Who are your heroes?
So my favorite comedian of all time, and I'm going to say this comedically, I think he is the best comedian to walk this planet. It is Bill Cosby. And the way he can manipulate an audience is fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
He's so good.
I had all his albums.
Yeah.
Coming up. Him and the Smothers Brothers for some reason.
Oh, I was on a big Smothers Brothers kick lately. You know what it was? After Colbert got canceled, I picked up this book on the Smothers Brothers and started reading it because I was like, this seems very familiar, what's going on with Colbert. And it really does echo what happened to the Smothers Brothers.
What happened to the Smothers Brothers?
They got knocked off for being irreverent, or
it was basically they were protesting the war in Vietnam, and they were taking jabs at Nixon, and Nixon didn't like that. So Nixon, there was I think several CBS stations were up for license renewals, and Nixon kind of got the FCC to be like, hey, we're not going to renew your license if you keep the Smothers Brothers on the air.
Nixed by Nixon. Wow. It's funny how you used to be able to get canceled for the political views. Remember the Dixie Chicks?
Yeah.
Remember the Dixie Chicks?
Yeah.
And they were like criticizing George Bush?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Yeah,
and then weren't they like burning their CDs in the streets?
Yeah, and then Michael Moore, when he won his Oscar, his sort of joke during his speech, because he was getting booed during his acceptance speech, but he was trying to win him back with a joke, and he said, when the Dixie Chicks are against you, you've lost. That was
wow. Yeah. Oh, my God. Michael Moore, I hadn't thought of him in a long time. I remember seeing that one thing he did with Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
Going back and forth.
That's what he won the Oscar for, Bowling for Columbine.
Yeah. And it was an impossible thing because the camera's looking up at Charlton Heston. There's no one standing behind him. Then the camera's looking down from Charlton Heston at Michael Moore, and there was no one standing behind him. So there were invisible cameramen on both. You never saw a cameraman.
Yeah.
But they were shooting back and forth between them. It was like, okay, am I the only one noticing this? Tech, help, something. Yeah, I smell bullshit.
They used After Effects to take out all the cameramen digitally.
Yeah, there you go.
You recently worked on Happy Gilmore too.
I did.
What was that experience? Did you get to meet Adam Sandler?
Yeah, no, I had a lot of downtime with Adam. Adam's the one who gave me the role, essentially.
He seems like the coolest person ever. You got to tell us about him.
He's a sweetheart. I love that dude. So I met Adam because I was performing at the Improv one night, and I was about to leave, and then the manager of the Improv was like, "Hey, can you go back in the showroom for like 10 minutes and just watch the show?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And what I realized what was going on is there was nobody in the room. So she was trying to recruit people to go into the room because Sandler was about to go on stage. So she wanted him to have an audience. So I watched Adam's set, and I just scribbled down some tags for him, and I intercepted him when he got off stage. I said, "Hey, I wrote some."
What are tags?
Tags are like they're like additional punchlines for his jokes.
Oh, okay.
So I intercepted him and said, "Hey, I wrote some tags for you if you want to hear them." And he goes, "You wrote jokes for me?" Yeah. And he pulled me into a separate room, and I pitched him the jokes, and he seemed to like them. And he said, "Hey, can I hire you to write some stuff for me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I gave him my number, and I saw him store
Wait. Pause. Adam Sandler takes you aside. Hey, can you write some jokes for me? And you're just like, yeah, sure. Yeah,
wow.
Sure. This happens every day.
What's going on at the time?
How are you not freaking out? Like, oh man, that's got to be like such a high praise as a comedian, no?
It was, well, okay, because here's the thing. I have, at that point in my career, there was a lot of comics who'd promised to do stuff for me, and nothing ever came to fruition.
So you're kind of jaded.
So not necessarily jaded. I knew not to expect anything. And so he took my number down, and my name's spelled Jay, but I saw him store my number in his phone as Jae. The next day, I went back to Dallas because I was visiting my parents for something, and I told my parents about what happened. And my mom said, "Oh, Adam Sandler is never gonna call you. All these people promise you things. No one ever does anything." And I get a text message that night, and it says, "Hey, Joe, it's Sandman. Can I still hire you to write some stuff for me?" And I assume his phone auto-corrected Jae to Joe.
Yeah.
So I showed my mom. I said, "Look, Ma, you said Adam Sandler's never going to call. He just texted me." And she read it, and she said, "He's not looking for you. He's looking for Joe."
Yes. Oh, thanks, Mom. Let's get that arrow out of your neck.
Yeah.
So you write some jokes for him, and then fast forward, Happy Gilmore 2
so
comes around.
I wrote some stuff for his first Netflix special, and that was a really hard process. He is the hardest person I've ever had to write for, because my mind is very linear and very grounded, and he thinks in such an abstract way that I would just scribble down every goofy thought I had, and I would pitch it to him. And most of them he would reject, but then some of them he would glom onto, and I'd be like, "Really? That's the one you liked? Oh, okay." And so I could never gauge him. I could never figure out his style of humor. The one thing I realized that was sort of my asset with him is I would watch him a lot. And when I would watch him, I could see the worlds that he's building. And when I'm in his world, I can see, oh, well, if this is true, then this would also be true in that world. And so I was able to kind of pitch him tags based on the stuff he's already set up. But I was not good at like creating jokes for him.
That's interesting. It's so, the idea of being a comedy writer to me is just amazing. I think it's the stuff of genius, because how do you just, create it out of thin air? I tend to just ad-lib something, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the idea of sitting down and just focusing on, I'm going to write something, it's going to be funny, it's going to be cheers, or it's going to,
Well, that's the thing is
it's crazy.
You don't know until you put it in front of people.
Yeah. And you always knew that you were going to be doing this, or
I knew I was going to try at least.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, because I think the earlier the bug hits you, the better. You have a longer time to gear up for it.
Yeah, and I mean, I just studied comedy. Like I studied 70s comedy. Like I listened to Freddie Prinze Sr.'s album when I was in the 8th grade. I listened to all the Cosby stuff. I listened, I would watch original Kings of Comedy. I would watch Def Jam. I just looked at it as a spectrum, and you had to watch the whole thing. And there was a comic named Christopher Titus. And when I saw his first special, I was blown away. I didn't realize you could do what he did with stand-up. He was just so open and honest and emotional and raw, and took all these true dark stories and made them funny. And like he had a whole thing about his mom committing suicide, and I'm laughing the whole time he's telling the story. And I was like, I didn't know you could do that. Like I'm sitting here thinking, oh, set up punch, take my wives, please. And the fact that he was able to take these true kind of scarring stories and make them funny, I'm like, anybody who can't figure out how to do this is lazy, because clearly you can do this.
Wow. Well, nothing funnier than your mom committing suicide, I'll tell you.
If you can figure out how to do that.
Yeah, but I'm laughing on the inside right now. I'm chortling.
Do you ever watch Welcome Back, Kotter?
What's that?
Did you ever watch Welcome Back, Kotter?
Welcome back.
There's an episode where Kotter becomes a comedian, and he has this agent, and the agent's whole gag is like, Kotter will tell a joke, and the agent's like, "That's hilarious. I'm laughing right here, right here."
Oh, I think I saw that. Yeah. Oh God, no, I'm hysterical. Seriously, go on. Yeah. Okay. Come on, my baby. Come on, honey. Oh man.
Well, so this thought, how we've been talking about sitcoms earlier, just popped into my head. What do you think about animated sitcoms? In my opinion, animated sitcoms kind of creeped into that live realm.
Yeah,
I'm talking about like BoJack and The Simpsons, Family Guy.
If you go
Rick
back and
Morty.
watch those first 4 seasons of The Simpsons, it's a family show. It's like just like another family sitcom. Everything is so kind of relatively grounded in that universe. They don't really introduce the sort of rubber band reality until season 5, I think.
Yeah.
So like those first few seasons, it's all about family issues. So it's that, and they took a bunch of kind of like sitcom writers for that. Those first few seasons, and they all write. I mean, Jay Kogan was on the early seasons, and he's told me before, we're just writing a family show.
Yeah.
And Family Guy, it's in the name, but also Family Guy, he got compared to Archie Bunker a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then I mean, like in theory, every show is a family. It's some sort of family, whether it's like the nuclear family, mom, dad, kids, or the people you work with are your family, or your friends are your family. So like you can't escape this concept of family on television.
Mm-hmm. Modern Family.
Modern Family, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I was in a play with Ed O'Neill.
Oh, which one?
I was a kid. I was in 7th grade or 6th. He was a senior in high school. And we were in the Catholic school story, since you asked. Surely you've seen it. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was something that was written by one of the nuns. And they decided that it was a little play, and they went to Channel 27 in Youngstown, Ohio, and said, "Would you like to? Can we put this? Can we do?" And they said, "Sure." And so that was my big TV debut with Ed O'Neill of Modern Family.
Of Married with Children.
And Married with Children.
I mean, because somebody was just telling me a story about Ed O'Neill's theater days. That's why I was like, "Oh, which play were you in?"
Oh yeah. Oh well. Yeah, I guess they were his theater days, his very early theater days.
Yeah, because before he got before he got Married with Children, he was a theater guy.
Yes, he was. He was. He did a remake. I think it was called Knockout on Broadway, and he played a down and out sort of punch drunk boxer. And I guess that he made a big splash on Broadway. Everybody was very excited about it in Youngstown. Did you know that O'Neill's on Broadway? And we all kind of knew him as kind of a badass. You didn't mess with the guy. He was, first of all, he's huge, and it's just so funny because he's from Youngstown, and I joked, I've run into him a few times over the years, and I said, "So has anybody ever said they threatened to blackmail you, or else they start talking about what you were like as a kid?" And he goes, "I've gotten that." I go, "Yeah, me too." And so let's never talk about this again. Let's never bring this up. Okay, it's a deal. And so it's too late. I guess I brought it. Sorry, Ed. I'm sure he's clinging to our every word here.
If he's watching, Ed O'Neill, if you're watching, I want to say your scene in The Adventures of Ford Fairlane makes me laugh every time. When you start going into the Booty Town song, I can't stop laughing.
That's pretty good.
Booty Town.
Booty Town. My Rolodex is going along. I can't pull it up. Ford Fairlane, and that was Dice. Dice Clay.
Yeah.
Andrew Dice Clay. Whatever happened to that guy? He even had his own nickname, Dice.
Dice. I mean, Dice is always on the road. He's always touring, but Dice, you want to talk about a film career. Dice was in Blue Jasmine. which was nominated for a lot of Oscars. He was in the Lady Gaga A Star Is Born, which was nominated for a lot of Oscars. So Dice's film career is pretty good.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I didn't know that.
We'll have to get him on this podcast.
You got an encyclopedic knowledge, huh?
My brain is a sponge for the most useless film and TV trivia in the world.
It's not useless, though, because it's fascinating for me to listen to people like you who just can recall things like that. I mean, we were just at lunch the other day with these, like, old school Disney legends, and just the amount of knowledge that they have about Disney and, you know, who worked on what and who was involved with what. It's fascinating to me. I'm just sitting there like a literal child. I mean, you know, these people are like 40 years my senior, and I'm just like, wow, this is fascinating. You know, like, it's fascinating. I don't think it's a useless talent at all. I really don't, especially when you're in the industry. You know, like, you go to dinners and, you know, lunches, and if you're able to recall that stuff and, you know, bring up connections, that's what it's all about, right?
And if you get on Jeopardy.
Oh no! If I got on like regular Jeopardy, I would lose immediately. But if I got on like pop culture Jeopardy, maybe I might have a shot.
There you go. Absolutely. Why not? So what is next for you? Anything too interesting, or you're not allowed to speak of it, right?
No, I nothing. I'm just peddling the sitcom and doing stand up. That's and doing Jim Cummings' podcast. That's
very good.
That's
very cool.
That's what's next for me.
Yes.
Do you tour a lot?
I've had to slow down my touring lately because my mom's 82. She moved in with me a few years ago, so kind of taking care of her has been my full-time job lately. So it's tough to, at my level, it's tough to go on the road because I have to get her a nurse and make sure there's someone at
Does that feel conflicting?
It's the, I would say this is the one time that I've understood my dad, because I always felt like my dad was a very stoic person who led with duty and obligation. And my mom and my dad had an arranged marriage, so it wasn't like love. It was this sort of like,
so they're very old school.
Yeah, like they're thrown together. There's no mindset in their heads of like, we're not the right fit for each other. We'll get divorced. Like they're in it. So I always felt like my dad, everything he did was out of duty and obligation. It was never out of love. And now I'm just sort of like, the things I do for my mom, it's never even a question in my mind. Like, yes, I will do it. And it's never like, oh, I'm doing this because I love her. I'm doing it because I know it's duty. Like I have to.
Sure.
But there's no resentment in the duty. There's
That's right.
It's just like never a question in my mind. Yes, it's going to get done.
Yeah. I was kind of like that with my mom, rest her soul. Yeah. Got to take care of your mom.
Yeah.
Got to.
If I don't do it, nobody else will.
That's right. Well, good for you. Do you have a lot of siblings?
I have two older brothers. I was the accident.
Oh. Yeah, I thought I recognized you. So your dad came on one day and said, "You're what?" When?
Yeah.
You know,
but my dad was 50 when I was born, and my eldest brother. There's 17 years between me and my eldest brother, so he was a senior in high school when I was born, and my middle was 13. So it's like, you know, my dad was on the cusp of retirement. Raising a kid was not something he was looking forward to doing.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I have a half sibling that's 15 years my junior, and it doesn't. Like, it's a weird kind of connection, you know, because it's like two different generations completely, you know. And so I like try and relate, but it's also, you know, it's kind of different because it's a half sibling. So it's like a whole nother family.
One night, this is when I was in my 30s, my eldest brother, he got pretty drunk, and he admitted to me that he said, I didn't realize that when my parents had a child so late in life, I would have to become a parent as well.
Yeah, and you hear that story time and time again, and it's tough. It's got to be tough. I've never experienced it firsthand, but it's got to be tough. I mean, yeah. But in the like comedy world, you know, you hear stories about like, you know, a lot of comics are like tortured souls and everything like that. When you're out touring or even just, you know, down at the comedy club or anything like that, do you feel that energy like backstage in the green room or anything like that?
I mean, yes and no. Like I worked at the Comedy Store for a decade, so you see a lot of. I think the Comedy Store is part of the some of the darkest periods of my life because I was drinking a lot. I was drinking a lot during that time.
Do you feel like that's your solace? Like as a comedian, it's like, oh, this is almost like home. You know, like I can be around like people like me, or is it an escape? What do you think draws you in the darkest
So
time?
I mean, I really do. I'm very grateful for my time at the Comedy Store, and I love
legendary
going.
place.
Like, I mean, like, you know, I wouldn't be the comedian I am today had I not developed there. But that was a dark period of my life, and that place at that time I worked there. Like, the Comedy Store is very different now compared to when I worked there. When I worked there, it was a very dark time at the Comedy Store. So, like, you know, they.
How so?
It was like inmates running the asylum. Like, Mitzi Shore was kind of not really there anymore.
Oh.
Paulie and his brother were fighting a lot over who gets to control the place.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So there was a lot of chaos and kind of mismanagement going on during my early years there, and so no one was, you know, it's more kind of structured and corporate now. So it's like, so I don't think a lot of the door guys there are going through what I was going through at that time, and you know, you work there till like 3 a.m, from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. It can get pretty depressing.
Yeah.
And especially like if you work that back door, you know, there's nights where literally the only conversation you have with people is, "Can I see your ID?" And that's it. You don't talk to anyone for the rest of the night, so that can be pretty depressing too. But I do find that I am more inclined to hang out with comedians than like my normie friends. But it's just
the
like
non-mutants.
You know what it is? There's a language that comics speak with each other. I was on the road once in Laughlin, Nevada, and I get a call.
Oh boy, yeah.
And Laughlin's like, you know, that whole town looks like an episode of the TV show Intervention. You know, like there's.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get a call and it's Jay Leno and I didn't know. I'd met Jay maybe once or twice before that. I didn't know him. And Jay's like, I heard you in Laughlin. I'm in Laughlin. Why don't you come by after your show and then we'll hang out in my trailer? I was like, okay. And you know, hung out with him for like an hour before he went on stage. And what I realized is Jay did that because he remembered what it was like to be on the road and be alone and not have anyone to talk to. So it's like, he was like, oh, let me spend some time with this comic because it gives him someone to hang out with while he's on the road. And Jay and I have become like friends since then.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's great.
But, and then there's like there's this French comic. He's like a huge celebrity, a huge comic in France. And
French comic.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was in town he was doing a show somewhere. And I went to his show and I wanted to meet him backstage. And so I'm like begging the venue to like let me talk to this guy. And eventually I go meet him and like we're talking to each other and it's like, even though he's from France, our language is the same. You know, like our stories are the same. And I remember he yelled at his manager. He's like, "You bring this personal trainer, you bring some movie exec. This guy was waiting outside. I would have rather talked to this guy than all the other people you brought in here."
Oh, wow. Isolated, huh?
It's
Kinda.
It can be.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like the road, so to speak?
Road.
Yeah.
I love the road.
Yeah.
There was a period where hotel rooms felt more comfortable than my own house. I remember one time there was like a weekend I was not on the road. I'm at home in my apartment, and Louis Anderson called me up, and Louis was like, "Hey, can you pick this thing up for me in LA and drive it to my house in Vegas, and I'll get you a hotel room in Vegas for the night." I was like, "Hotel room? Yes!"
You had me at hotel room. Wow. Louis Anderson.
Are there ever times you wake up in the hotel and you're like, what? Oh, yeah. You forget where you are?
That has not happened so much. I had a friend, he was on the road so much that at one point he remodeled his bathroom at home to look like a hotel bathroom.
Oh, geez. Wow.
That'd be nice, though. Hotel bathrooms are...
Yeah. Well, Billy Crystal, doesn't he have a airplane bathroom in his house?
Why would you want that?
That's the teeny tiny
That's
bathroom.
like the most inconvenient
I know.
bathroom.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm thinking, why did you do that? And he opens it up, and there it is. There's a little, you know, and then you're going, and then you're cramped. And it's like,
Can't even stand up all the way.
Like, Does it have the suction thing
Yeah.
to you and the used razor blade slot?
Yeah.
I will say though, on the plane, this might be too much information, but after I use the bathroom on the plane, I always flush while I'm sitting on it, and you get that nice breeze. You get the nice little breeze. Try it next time. I'm telling you, it's almost like an air bidet.
Look at that.
You're not getting
See?
All right, so
And you didn't think you were going to learn anything today.
you gentlemen are actors.
Don't knock it till you try it. Don't knock it till you try it.
You gentlemen are actors. Airplane toilet versus trailer toilet.
Oh.
I'm going airplane because I hate the stupid little pump in the trailers. And then like in the honey wagons too, like everybody can hear like
Yeah,
is
that's
that guy
true.
washing his hands or just like really trying to flush one down? And you're trying to chop it, the little thing is like chopping.
I mean, you have to keep your foot on the pedal until it's all gone.
Until it's
down.
all gone, yeah. Till the blue comes.
For those of you confused listening or might not know what we're talking about, when you're on set, you get these trailers, and it's literally like, think of like an RV, like a bathroom in an RV. You step on a pedal and it opens a little hatch, and then the stuff goes down, and
It's Satan's little.
it's very inconvenient. So what's your answer? Airplane or
Airplane.
airplane?
Yeah, I would rather go on an airplane.
Me too.
Yeah,
I just can't stand how you can't stand up all the way. It's like
I have no idea what you mean.
Have you done any voiceover? I saw a couple credits going through your IMDb.
No voiceover.
Is the internet lying to me?
I've had a couple of animation auditions, and I would coach with Debbie Derryberry for that. And
She's a good buddy of mine. She's very gifted.
She is fascinating to work with because my mind does like same thing with Sandler. My mind doesn't think like that. Mm-hmm. So we'd be going over the lines, and she'd be like, "Oh, add a grunt here, do a gurgling sound here," and my mind wouldn't think to come up with that stuff. And that's why, like, as an outsider looking in, I'm fascinated with what you guys do because to come up with those things, to see text on a page and to really add these little elements to it, I wouldn't. I would need years of practice of being in that mentality to start to like.
Well, Debbie's a well-known gurgler. She gurgles. Oh man, she's probably gurgling now as we speak. How you doing there, Deb? Good. Little shout out there for you.
But like I've seen you, Jim, not only record but like also auditions and stuff, and it's amazing to me how fast it just comes to you. It's like you look at it, almost gloss over it once, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're just right in the zone. Is that, well, you always say, instincts are the best stinks, and that's truly just instincts?
Yeah, I absolutely. I don't know about you, but that's how it hits me. If it's funny in here, and a lot of times I'm hearing it for the first time too. Do you ever surprise yourself when you just come up with stuff?
There's times I'll be on stage and you're in the moment and something happens and you say something like you don't know if it's going to work. You only just say it.
No, you don't.
And then boom, and then it where I'm at with stand up in that respect of like failure and bombing is a gift because it's an opportunity to learn and get a new trick or
what not to do.
Yeah,
that
or like you do the Monday morning quarterback and like, oh yeah, next time I'm in that situation I should say this or do that, and you have that in your arsenal for the next time that situation occurs.
Yeah, and it will. Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever experienced maybe like a joke works in a certain setting?
Oh, absolutely.
But doesn't in another?
Absolutely.
Yeah, is that pretty common?
Yeah. But
so like when you travel, do you like cater your set to like, oh, I'm in Louisiana or I'm in Canada, or like do you tailor it to the audience, or not so much? You kind of just have a set and.
No, it's in the sense of I believe in giving the audience all the information they need to know for the joke to land without having to like over explain something or feel like I'm educating them more than I'm entertaining. Yeah. I opened for D.L. Hughley a lot, one of the kings of comedy, and I didn't really tour with black comics before that, so I wasn't used to necessarily doing a lot of black rooms, and and so I was opening for like Louis Anderson and Paul Reiser before then. So some very white comics. And
Yes.
And so it took me about a year to figure out, because I was trying to like cater to his audience a little bit and kind of pander a little bit. And DL pulled me aside one night and he said, "You don't have to change who you are for my audience. Let them find you." And so it wasn't so much about changing the material or writing new material for his audience. It was, how do I present this material in a way that they understand me and what I'm saying? And it was just some wording things or changing some order of like, oh, if I do this joke before I do this joke, then it'll hit because now I've set up something that they didn't know before.
Lay groundwork for it.
Yeah. So it was a trial and error. So that's a lot of what it is. And then when you're on the road, you're doing 6 shows. You do 1 show Thursday, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, 1 show Sunday. So if it's not working on Thursday, you have 5, like by Sunday you'll figure out how to make it work.
It's not going to make it till Sunday, or maybe it does, but you've worked on it.
Like, yeah, you'll figure it out by Sunday.
Yeah.
I did 2 weeks in India, and
I'm laughing already.
I was working in India, and I remember day 3, the club manager pulls me aside, and he was like, you're not really hitting with the Indian audience. Maybe you should talk about how things in America are different from things in India. And I was like, you want to be like Indian Yakov Smirnoff? Like Yakov Smirnoff? And I remember I went to the mall one day and just sat around and observed and just scribbled down observations. And
he said, "What a country! I cannot believe this country. It is crazy going nuts."
What's the saddest thing about that is a better Indian accent than I can do.
Oh no! I was looking to you to get a compliment. It worked.
No, that is a better Indian accent.
First you have to
I heard you in an interview say that you learned your Indian accent from a poo.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
And then Piat Michael, he told me this was the trick he learned from Peter Sellers in the party.
Oh my gosh.
He said he learned this from Peter Sellers in the party. Peanut butter. Try to say peanut butter, like you have peanut butter on the roof of your mouth. Peanut butter.
Oh. And that's the key, huh?
That's according to Piat. That's how Peter Sellers did it.
Well, now I'll to that end, I will tell you. You know how you do a good slow motion voice?
How?
Well, like that. That kind of voice, like a big giant. You put your tip of your tongue on right up underneath your top row of teeth there, and don't take it off. You leave it on there, but you still have to talk. You still have to talk.
Okay.
Oh,
So
And you do that. Oh yeah.
Were you the Kool-Aid man too?
No, but that's how you do it. And you didn't think you were going to learn something today.
They give for a lisp too. I think they did it for Sam Jackson and in Django. Was it Django? But they use safe glue, but they glue your lip to your teeth or your gums.
Ouch.
Press right there and imagine if that doesn't move.
Okay. She sells seashells by the seashore.
No, that doesn't sound like a lisp.
That doesn't sound like...
She that's not a lisp.
Is this one? Hello, it's so nice to see you. Seriously. Okay, God. We're right down the toilet on this one, huh?
Which toilet? A trailer toilet or an airplane toilet?
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. That wasn't a joke. It was an intervention. That's wonderful.
So Chris,
yes.
With the name Judge and you being in this animation world, do people ask you if you're related to Mike?
Oh,
I actually was in court one time. I was in court for a speeding ticket. I got a speeding ticket. You know those cameras, they take a picture. And I was like, I'm going to court and I'm saying this isn't me. And so I get up there, and they had like this big projection screen of the image of me driving, and the actual judge, she's like, "Are you by any chance related to Mike Judge?" And I was like, "Will that help me get out of this ticket?"
Yeah.
And then she starts laughing. And then I'm like, "No, I'm not. And then she's like, "Okay, well, how do you plea on this?" So I was like, "Well, that clearly isn't me." And the whole courtroom, I'm not kidding, started laughing because it's clearly just me sitting behind the wheel.
That's great.
I still had to pay the ticket. I thought I could get my way out of it, but no. But yes, sometimes. But even funnier than that, I was like a teenager, and I was like checking out or something. I don't know, showing my ID somewhere. I was on a plane. I was checking in for a flight. And the lady goes, "Are you a judge?" And I was like, what a stupid question. Like, I'm a teenager, and like, you don't change your name to Judge if you're a judge. I was just baffled by that. But yeah, no, people are definitely...
you're in court, and at no point are you like, "Judge, are you asking if I, Chris Judge, am related to Mike Judge?
No, I'm not that quick-witted.
Yeah, that's painful.
Mike Judge, he's not from my hometown, but he started doing early animation experiments in my old neighborhood back home.
Oh, really?
And every once in a while on Instagram, he'll...
Is this Dallas? You're from Dallas, right?
Dallas.
Yeah.
So Richardson specifically is where he was living, which is
Bobby?
Right next to my high school is where he used to live. And so he'll post these like early kind of test animations of him like doing what ended up being like Beavis. And to me, it's fascinating to think that like this iconic thing started in an apartment in my old neighborhood.
That's true, huh? That's interesting. It's like the Beach Boys in that little place in Hawthorne that turned into a shrine. You know, you've got your own.
Yeah.
Well, even like yesterday, we went to Walt Disney's office in Burbank, and like
that was
standing
crazy.
in that room is just like, I mean, it's not like, you know, Disney's such a huge, you know, multi-billion-dollar company, and it's weird to think like it's all a product of this little office. It's not a little office, but like, you know, it's like the size of this room.
I went to we had to go to Disney for something last year, and seeing that machine that they used for Snow White and all the layers and everything is fascinating. You know?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
that big giant thing in the hallway.
Yeah,
the way he was a genius. So
I mean, like, and the layers and it's like not even in sequential, like one layer is actually below another layer, but it's like on the frame, it appears on top of something. It's just, he's a madman, but it's great. It's the fact that he figured all that out.
I always say Disney's more than anything, more than an animation studio, more than an entertainment company. I always say they're engineers and innovators. You know, everything that they do is some kind of technological advancement. You know, that brings the entertainment along with it.
Well, that's where they came up with that Imagineering.
And I mean, you see the animatronics in the parks, the new ones that they have, they move so fluidly. It's like it's like creepy. It's not anymore like a robot and they blink. It's like they're like flowing and like making. They have projected digital faces on them. It's absolutely incredible.
When I saw the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run that first time, and Honda, I do a character named Hondo Onaka for Disney or Star Wars.
What's he sound like again?
And Hondo, he is a cross between what is his name? Not Steven Seagal. Yul Brynner and Charles Bronson. In my head, that's where I just put the two of them together. And out comes Hondo Onaka. I can't imagine what a pleasure it must be for you to meet me. You know, he's that kind of guy. And when I first saw that, and I'm used to, when I was a kid coming up, Mr. Lincoln, he was up there and he was 77 years ago, and it was kind of corny. But this one, you walk in and there's Hondo. He's up there and he's doing something, fiddling with trying to steal the Millennium Falcon, turn around. Then he turns around and walks over and goes, "Oh, I didn't see you here." And it's like, it freaked me out. I couldn't believe it. It's just come so far. Unbelievable. You got to go. It's
were
pretty
you a
cool.
big Disney fan growing up?
I was.
Yeah.
I mean, those '90s 2D Disney movies are like Aladdin, Lion King, Pocahontas.
You've been in a few of those.
Those were all really, really good movies.
And then
I was in them.
and then even before like. I remember when they did the Jungle Book re-release in the theaters. I went and saw that, and of course Dumbo. I have this weird love-hate relationship with Dumbo because it's like I used to watch it every Thanksgiving when it come on TV.
Oh yeah,
but the drunken sequence would always scare me.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were pushing it a little hard, and Pinocchio did that.
Yeah, the donkey scene.
The donkey.
Yeah, the donkey scene would freak me
was
out.
terrifying.
Yeah.
That was awful. And the kids, and they're smoking, and they're turning green, and then they're donkeys, and it's like, wow.
That was like nightmare fuel as a kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the world is a carousel of color.
Yeah, there's not going to be a scene like that in Moana 2. I guarantee that.
No.
Times have changed a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Now, have you ever done animation?
No. No. In my sitcom pilot, though, I did animate the opening title sequence.
Okay.
As sort of like an homage to like Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
So that sitcom that you did, are you trying to sell that as like a pilot, or are you shopping it to like
I'm
streaming services?
Yeah, shopping it. We had a few meetings last year. They all passed. Like as much as it is, I wanted to have my own sitcom. Part of it is I wanted to do something that showed that my Indian family in Texas was just like any other family in America. Because, my family would watch Everybody Loves Raymond and we would laugh and be like, oh, this is just like my mom. And we would watch The Cosby Show and be like, oh, this is just like our family. So I kind of got sick of not seeing that kind of representation in Indian culture. Because whenever I would go out for an Indian character, it was always like some sort of arranged marriage storyline or something like that. And I'm like, can we just show these people that we're not like this?
Yeah. You're probably going out for like a lot of like tech roles.
There was that. Like I was on Silicon Valley. I played a tech guy. And I'm like, I remember I was telling Mike Judge this. I'm like, I'm actually more like Big Head than I am a tech guy because I was the least qualified person when I was in engineering school.
Well,
yeah.
Stereotyped. Tipped. Something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be like... We were just talking about this earlier. That's got to be like frustrating, like always being put in that like box. You know? Like, what's your experience? Do you feel that?
I feel like this, like a new kind of. I used to think that the stereotype was like, like 7-Eleven clerk, terrorist, like sexually repressed immigrant, and then kind of when Aziz started becoming big. Then I felt like the new stereotype became Aziz. Every character was like based on Aziz Ansari.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And then
That's
now,
got to be fun to deal with.
Yeah.
Holy crap. You're Aziz, aren't you?
I remember I went out for some role and like the way the dialogue was written, it was like, this is written in Aziz Ansari's cadence,
Oh, wow. You were able to recognize that.
Yeah. And then now I feel like a lot of the sort of kind of nerdy engineer tech guy roles I read for, I feel like their archetype that they model it after is Abed on Community. So I feel like they're like every time I think like, oh, I figured out what the stereotype is, they find a new one.
They switch it up on you.
Wow. Maybe that'll be a good goal for you to become a new stereotype.
Yeah. It feels like have you ever seen the Robert Townsend movie Hollywood Shuffle?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
There's a scene where he's in an audition room and the casting director is like, what we want is an Eddie Murphy type. And then everybody kind of like in Pinocchio where everyone morphs to the donkeys, everyone slowly turns into Eddie Murphy.
Ooh. Well, that's a good type though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm half black. And, I always go out for these ethnically ambiguous roles. It's ethnically ambiguous.
Whatever that means.
I'll tell you exactly what it means. They're looking for a light-skinned black guy who's black passing. They look at me and they're like, We asked for like a black guy, like ethnically ambiguous. It's Katrina. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for
his
my
sister.
light-skinned black girl with a big afro. They want that, but the male version. That's what they mean when they say ethnically ambiguous. I had an audition where I went out. It was for a commercial or something. And in the description, it said, looking for a DK Metcalf type. And I don't know if you know who DK Metcalf is, but he's about a 6'5", 250-pound black receiver. It's dark as the night that you can find. And I told my agent, I'm not going out for this. And then she's like, why not? You're a football player? Like, oh yeah, they're ethnically ambiguous. They say DK Metcalf. Like, I don't look like DK Metcalf.
He's not ambiguous.
Yeah. Sure enough, one of my friends books the role, and what does he look like? The biggest, blackest, most muscular person you've ever seen. Oh my God, go figure. And sometimes it's just frustrating when like they just bring you in to check off a box. You know, it's like, oh yeah, okay, we got our quota, but we know it's like how companies internally hire. You know, like they interview everybody, and then it's like, okay, well, it's going to Joe in the corner over here anyway.
Oh, yeah. That kind of reminds me. So, all right, Jim, you'll appreciate this. So I went out for it was a voiceover role, and I did it, and then the role ends up going to Norm Macdonald. And it's like, wait, why would you bring me in for that? Norm is such a distinct voice, like if you knew, know you're gonna get, you know that's what you want when you put that out there.
A Norm Macdonald type. Yeah. Well, that I think of you right away.
Yeah, like if I know that's what you want. I'll just read it like this.
That's pretty good. Not bad.
Such a funny guy. Holy cow. Gone way too soon. I loved his when he does his just like rambling, he'll tell his story for like 5 minutes to get to a punchline.
Yeah.
It's just he's so funny.
Yeah, God bless him.
Oh man. Well, any other topics we should cover?
Should we?
Do you have a Sharpie?
Do you have anything that we need to?
If you have a Sharpie, I would love to do this while we're here.
Oh, look at that!
Would you sign this for me, Jim?
I would be honored.
Now, for those of you kids at home watching, this is what we call a digital video disc.
Yes.
I have silver.
Well, maybe even if we could bust out a VHS or a beta. How about that?
Beta, you know what? Let's get some reel to reel going.
Yeah.
Silver is going to be the best.
Yeah,
let's do
silver.
Blue and yellow. I don't know why I have those colors.
I had aspirations with my niece and nephew of sharing my childhood memories with them. So I bought all the Disney cartoons on DVD to watch with them. So I
Who should I make this to?
Make it to J-A-Y, not J-A-E.
Yeah. Okay. The P is silent, right?
Yeah. What is this? So I can.
It's Darkwing
Duck. For anybody
Duck.
Listening, this is Darkwing Duck.
Let's get dangerous.
The terror that flaps in the night.
Darkwing Duck Volume 1 DVD.
My cousins and I were obsessed with Darkwing Duck when we were a kid. We would watch it every afternoon. We'd come home from school every Saturday morning. I'm a child now. I'm still a child. I still watch Saturday morning cartoons. Mm-hmm. I don't. I feel stupid admitting. So I used to have this job where I would. I'm trying to keep this PG. I would. Women would hire me to pretend to be them on OnlyFans and chat with their fans.
No way.
Wait, what?
And I would do this on Saturday mornings when I was on the road to make some extra money, and I would have Saturday morning cartoons on in the background. So I would be chatting with these girls' fans, sexually explicit stuff, while I have Muppet Babies on in the background.
I think that's a misdemeanor. You could do time for that. A good weekend in jail. Sorry, the Muppets were on. You can't do that.
How do you find that job opportunity?
A friend of mine was doing it, and she.
That's pretty good bucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is funny. I bet those guys were so creepy.
I mean, I felt bad for them. I felt like. It's like the guys, the regulars at the strip club who think they're dating the strippers. Like,
that's sad. Here we go. No. Stay dangerous. All right, brother. I'm so honored.
Jim, thank you so much.
Did you just bring the wine?
I did. You know what? I couldn't find my Chippendales Rescue Rangers DVDs. There must be sitting in a box somewhere. But it's like every time I think of you and Rescue Rangers, I can't help but think of cheese.
Yeah, one of my proudest moments ever. I was at the Renaissance Fair many years ago, right after that show had just come out, and I was standing in line, and these little boys were like 10-year-old kids. They were getting hot dogs, and she said, "Would you like to have lettuce on there, or would you like some cheese?" And they looked at each other and went, "Cheese!" And I just beamed. I thought that's the coolest thing in the world.
I just imagine when you're recording that. I imagine you actually twisting a mustache while that's going on.
No, I'm happy to say that was not the case. But I shared that role with Peter Cullen. He did half of them, and I did half of them, and we ended up for some reason I never understood. They just decided to make me Monterey Jack halfway through, and we did 65 episodes. And I think on the 32nd one, I was Monterey Jack. And I have no explanation for it, neither does Peter. And it was just like, no, we're just going to use Jim. He's been in there for 30-some shows already. What? And they played my original audition, and it sounded just like kind of like they were brothers. So it wasn't a big deal anyway. And to this day, and really sorry you brought that up. I can't believe it. But it's terrible.
Well, I'm definitely not going to ask you about Shredder now.
Oh, okay. Get those turtles. Yeah, well, I think that Shredder was interesting because it was played by 3 people, and he was a Japanese samurai, bad guy, and it was 2 black guys and a white guy played him.
So now let me ask you: if you after doing Shredder, like they did an animated Everybody Hates Chris, if they decide to do an animated Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, could you do Uncle Phil?
No, I would like to. I would love to try. Oh, what's happening here?
I don't know. It's glitching out, so I'm just turning it
Oh,
on.
okay.
You don't want me to try and fix that? I was a bad engineer.
Yeah. But you could do it, baby. You know somebody who can do it.
Jim, stop doing that.
I can't believe I'm
I'm not like
There's got to be.
I'm not bothered by that. Here's really the only time I've ever gotten offended by a white person trying to do an Indian accent was there's
Pocahontas.
I was retired. I was helping this retired comedian out with his I would drive him to his doctor's appointments and stuff. And my mom one day was saying something like she didn't think I had good finance sense or something. And so she called this guy's wife because I was helping him with his medical bills and stuff. She wanted proof that I was bad with finances. and so she called this guy's wife to be like, he's screwing up your husband's finances, right? And she was actually saying, no, I was doing a good job. Then she comes, she's like, yeah, so your mom called me, and she starts doing my mom's accent for me. And I was like, this is weird.
Well, I do that with everybody. So don't take offense, please. Oh my gosh.
That's funny. Great. Well, thank you so much for being here. That
Thanks
was a really
for
good
having me.
conversation.
You know what? Can we do this on air? So
Yes.
I brought Almanya here, and she is a huge Powerpuff Girls fan. And I told her we were going to go see Fuzzy Lumpkins.
Yes, we are. Get off of my property. There you go. Thank you. Good night, everybody. Thank you. Yes.
Well, once again, thank you guys all for watching. We had fun that episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, I'm producer Chris, the legend himself, Mr. Jim Cummings, and our special guest today, Jay Mandyam. Thank you so much again for being here.
Thanks
really
for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Thank
Pleasure
you very
being with
much.
you guys.
Absolutely. And if you guys, thank you all for watching. If you guys like that, be sure to like and subscribe. YouTube is a weird website. It really is. You can actually watch something on YouTube and then it's never recommended to you ever again. So you could come across this channel, love it, never see it again unless you like and subscribe. And if you like it so much that you want to see more of it, good news. We have a Patreon. That's right. Tuned In with Jim Cummings is on Patreon. You get bonus interviews. We do exclusive episodes on there that you don't see anywhere else. Be sure to check that out. And I should announce Next weekend, we will be in Fan Expo MegaCon Orlando,
Yes.
and we will be doing a live recording. That's right, we're doing 8 shows of Fan Expo this year. You can check out the Fan Expo Instagram or website, and it'll show all the times that we're doing live podcast recordings, so you can be right there in the audience. We had 2 really good ones so far already. Portland and Vancouver, and we'll be going across the nation, so be sure to check that out. Once again, I'm producer Chris. Jim Cummings himself, the legend, Jay Mandyam, thank you so much. We will see you in the next one.
Oh, thanks, man.
Hey, thank you.
Job well done.
I hope I was interesting.
You
You
sure
were,
were.
yeah, absolutely.